Dear son, you must understand that your home is not here where you have been born, for you are a warrior. You are a bird, and this house where you have just been born is only a nest. Your mission is to give the sun the blood of enemies to drink, and to feed the earth with their bodies.
In the time of Columbus, Europe discovered a strange new world, where every boy was born to fight, and men fought for living flesh. Mortals to be sacrificed, to slake the thirst of a god for blood. On a bright, warm day in the autumn of 1519, Spanish conquistadors rode down into the valley of the shadow of death. They feared no evil because they saw none, only greening pastures and shimmering still waters, and a city afloat, Tenochtitlan, capital of the mighty kingdom of the Aztecs.
These great pyramids and buildings rising from the water, all made of stone, seemed like an enchanted vision. Indeed, some of our soldiers asked whether it was not all a dream.
Riding 8 abreast down a long causeway, a few hundred foreigners entered a city of 200,000, larger than any in Spain. They stopped at the steps of a temple 100 feet high, washed in sunlight and stained with infamy.
The walls of the shrine were so caked with blood, and the floor so bathed in it, that the stench was worse than that of any slaughterhouse in Spain. They beat the drum, and the sound was most dismal, like some music from hell. There were many diabolical objects, and large knives, and many hearts that had been burnt before their idols.
From the Gulf of Mexico to the Pacific Ocean, the Aztecs ruled an empire built on trade, tribute, and terror. But they were awed by the men with white skin and dark beards, from a land beyond the sea, who carried sticks that belched fire, and who might be gods. Scarcely 200 years before the Spanish arrived, the Aztecs entered the Valley of Mexico and settled at the center of vast Lake Texcoco. By sinking logs into the soft ground and raising platforms over the marshes, they built up their great capital, Tenochtitlan. Lacking natural wealth, the city grew rich on trade. Life revolved around its thriving markets. As the Aztecs multiplied, so did their power. Tenochtitlan, built upon mud, gained a second foundation. Tribute, in goods and flesh, exacted from its weaker neighbors by its powerful army. For a boy, to be born an Aztec was to be born a warrior. When he came into the world, the midwife sprinkled water across his mouth and chest and held him up to the gods. One day, she chanted, he would enter the palace of delights where the brave who die in battle rejoice. The boy's life would be dedicated to Huitzilopochtli, god of the sun and of war. He was the model for every warrior. Each night, the sun god fought furiously with the moon and the stars. At dawn, victorious, he rose again and crops flourished. But the nightly battle so exhausted him that he craved the precious water, human blood. When the Aztecs dedicated their shrine to the sun god, they wallowed for days in an orgy of sacrifice. Their victims numbered in untold thousands.
War must always continue, so that whenever our god wishes to eat and feast, we may go there as one who goes to a market to buy something to eat, to obtain victims to offer our god, Huitzilopochtli.
For the Aztecs, warfare was their lifeblood. Leaving childhood, a boy entered a house of youth to begin his training. Priests scarred his torso and arms with the marks of the sun god and taught him the ballads glorifying fallen heroes.
The brave warriors and all the youths, each day, each night, should sing and dance, so that all the cities which lay about Mexico should hear.
At 15, the boy learned the tools of his profession, the bow and the sling, the javelin and the shield, but foremost